The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelf, absorbed in a book, you say? I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable. That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% reliable. It would be my pleasure. Lately, it seems the doctor's eyes had gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on his desk. And in the picture, he's not wearing glasses. So you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves. I'm sorry, Mr. Titian Wimperson, but I'm going to have to ask you to explain this discrepancy to the voting public. You what? I'll explain it, you lowly cur. I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Arbel hit him over the head. Then the doctor would have been facing him. He surely would have seen him and tried to run. Dr. Buff was nodding off. I could tell because his eyes were closed and he wasn't moving. Sounds more like what you would do. Sounds more like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't that something that should be impossible from the front of the desk? Oh, about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off. That's when he was clobbered. So that's what you saw. Well, Mr. Justice, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me. Do you have any problem with the proposal that the doctor was struck while nodding off? Oh, I have a big problem. There's a problem. A very big problem. The witness statement doesn't hold up any of the slightest bit of scrutiny. Is it so? Then would you please show this court what evidence you have to justify this? Gladly, Your Honor. This shows the problem with the witness's claim that he saw the doctor nodding off. Oh. If he was nodding off, if he was bowing his head down, he wouldn't have been able to see him because the bookshelf, right? Is that what we're going for? Maybe? I can't really think of anything else. No, that's fine. That's about all I've got, really. It's this picture. Saying if he was nodding off in his desk right here, he would have been able to see him through the window.
Take that!
A diagram of the study? Mr. Titian Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here. But from his vantage point, the bookshelf would have blocked the witness's line of sight. Why, yes, I believe you're right. But...
Objection!
The fact remains, my client knew that the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely has first-hand knowledge of the crime scene. I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder? What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice? From what vantage point could Mr. Titian Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind this incident. The witness saw the murderer from right here!
Take that!
You've got to be kidding. But that's... It is indeed. But everything only makes sense if the witness was there in the study. Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime. I know. Mr. Titian Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness to the murder, was most certainly in that very room. Apollo, are you suggesting? Mr. Titian Wimperson? Weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase?
Objection!
What you're proposing is ludicrous. My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. Arbel has the musculature... Musculature? I don't know, I've never heard that. To pull it off. He has a point. I gave up trying to lift that thing after one go. That's right. He's the only one who could have lifted such a heavy object. Now do you understand? Dots Arbel is the doctor's killer. As long as that suitcase is the murder weapon, suspicion falls entirely on Dots. You'll have to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo. Oh, I will. And with his own technique, no less. If Mr. Titian Wimperson couldn't swing the suitcase around, we'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as a murder weapon. Instead, dropping it? Going to turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright. Just like you taught me. I'm trying to think. You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes? Well, this should be interesting. Mr. Titian Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelves. Now he claims the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer, and how was the murder weapon really used? So the important thing here is the position of the victim and the killer relative to each other? Yes, Your Honor. If they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use the suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger. You can't mean... I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. It's quite distinct, as you can see. Somehow. Now, if Dr. Buff were sitting in a certain spot and his killer was at a certain other spot, the suitcase would become a weapon anyone could use. Yeah, that's right, he dropped it. He pushed it down from the top. So, Dots left it... He left his suitcase on the top, because he was... Okay, very well, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff's killer at the time of the crime?
Take that!
Oh, shit! Oh, no, never mind. We're good. I thought I was reading the diagram wrong. This should wrap things up nice and pretty for you, right? Mr. Wright? How does the court recall the study's layout? But this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right. It was the plaintiff, one Paul Titian Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed it from the 2nd floor and sent it hurtling down onto Dr. Bluff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. The psychology book had been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The doctor must have set it down there after he finished reading it, or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in that mountain of books.
Objection!
That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. I'd say that evidence of the murder occurring... I say that evidence of the... Okay, why would I say no after Apollo just said it does? The evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. You are? This right here is proof that the murder took place at the coffee bar. Coffee stain.
Take that!
The brown stain was determined to be coffee. What's more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright. It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar. That's when the suitcase came hurtling down, striking him on the head, causing both his blood and his coffee to splatter onto it. Well, Mr. Titian Wimperson? What motive could I have to possibly had to kill Dr. Buff? And there it is, the final excuse cornered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Telling him that the Defiant Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news reports, so he knew the relic was the Founder's Orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you, that you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Titian Wimperson? That's is... Paulo, please don't accuse my client of murder. Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I mean was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal. Say what? Right, you better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And do you know what will happen to her if that happens? So the whole courtroom just gonna let that one slide? Alright. An apologist said he was gonna ponder about it later. He's like, that's not important. Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. Arble is the killer. Are you really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that. Well, Mr. Wright, answer me. Mr. Wright? What in the world's going on here? If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Titian Wimperson, the defense hereby accuses you... Apollo, wait. Not you too, Athena. It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but... During that last recess when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have. I trust Maya is unharmed. Again with this shit? I can't really say, but just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind if you catch my drift. Relax, all you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What do they want that relic for anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secrets. Maya? As in Maya Fey? Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. Miss Fey's being held hostage? So it seems. Why didn't you tell me as soon as you heard this? Sorry, it's just... Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away. He made me promise not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out. As if things weren't already hard enough. So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange. I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him. Think, Justice. There's got to be something you can do. Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours. I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue? I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry. What's gotten into you two? If I accused that slime bag, I put Miss Faye's life in jeopardy. It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders. Either I give up, or... Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day I'll become president, and then king! I'll have every politician at my command. Now, retract your accusation. Can't kowtow to him? Koto? I don't know what that is. But the defense would like to retract the previous accusation. Apollo. Dirk? I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face.
A dragon never yields.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go until its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get the truth. To the truth. Dirk, a dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. Mr. Wright's hands are tied. It's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his. Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call. Now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there. That's the face of a lawyer you've got there, son. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm going to find the way to save Mrs. Faye, and see that justice is served. Oh, okay. That scumbag is holding Miss Faye hostage to ensure he gets the orb for his patron. And it seems said patron believes in the orb's legend. Thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend said. If the legend is true, then we've already solved the riddle, right? No, not yet. The legend says the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns. But if that's true, it means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. But how can that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe that part about the founder returning should be taken literally. But how would it be possible for a dead person to return to the world of the living? Founder can return through channeling. Oh, I know. There is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channel. Of course, you'd have to know what the founder looks like first. But the orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's a sign that we should channel her? We need Pearl up in here. I need to get Pearl. Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and receive the founder's power, I'd need to practice channeling. What the fuck? Let's get Pearl. The ability of a medium to channel spirits is the final key to unlocking the orb's secrets. That means that Titian Whipperson's patron will need one too. And once that slimy politician realizes that he won't be able to lay a finger on Mrs. Faye. I mean, he could just get another. Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright. Because Mr. Politician Wimperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Faye's head. Huh? Mr. Politician Wimperson, it seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage. What do you mean? Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can? What do you mean, only Maya Fey? Think about the return of the Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Kurain, the birthplace of spirit mediums. Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Kurainism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. So maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder? Exactly. Through a spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true, the founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she does. It's like when Pearl imbued my Magatama with spiritual power. If a human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner, it is said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her... Wait a second, then the legend is true? Do you understand now, Mr. Wimperson? You are holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secrets. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever. There's always Pearl Fey. I could simply ask her to help. She wants money, I have plenty to offer. She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain. And she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin. Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Kurain to channel the founder for you. He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now, confess, you killed Dr. Buff, didn't you? It wasn't supposed to end this way. Mr. Wimperson, are you admitting to committing the crime? You're my lawyer, am I right? Do something. It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client isn't the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important. And that's finding the truth. What? Mr. Wimperson, you have sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way, I was being held hostage too. Even so, there is still hope for me to make things right. And I owe it all to you, Apollo. Mr. Wright? I can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Wimperson, I must resign as your attorney. Does this mean I'm under arrest? Well, I've nothing to confess. What? I said I've nothing to confess. I don't and I won't, especially not to a plebeian like you. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at the suitcase. You won't find a single print of mine on it. All that means is you wiped them off, taking care to only leave Mr. Arbel's. As many a great politician has said before me, no comment. In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Look at the situation from a different angle. Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped from up above? Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor. If the killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar, that would place him right around here. Maybe, just maybe... Thought of something, Apollo? I believe this piece of evidence to be connected to the dropping of the suitcase. Fucking I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing that has to do with something. I'm not sure what I'm not sure what assertion I'm making, but I'm sure that it's probably this.
Take that!
That appears to be a statement, but how is that related to this case? On the night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left her room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out. Right above the coffee bar. But with her there in the wheelchair, the killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase down onto the doctor. Good point. However, according to Sarge, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair. Someone was pushing my wheelchair. What? I was so scared I beat a hasty retreat, as fast as my wheels could take me. She must have been in the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Titian Wimperson? Oh, so his fingerprints are going to be on the handles. And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands, we may yet find the conclusive evidence we need. Exactly. Fortunately for us, that evidence slipped right through the killer's fingers. If only he had been able to hold it on to it just a little tighter. But now, he is neither able to discard nor to alter it. Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, it looks like sometimes things do get better. But this wasn't supposed to happen. No? Well, too bad, because the evidence that sped away from you that night has come back to haunt you, right here at this very trial. Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is on this person.
Take that!
That's... On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out, only to come to find that someone was pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room. She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase, the same can't be said for the prints that got away. My fellow Karainians. Well, Mr. Politician Wimperson, try to explain your way out of this one. The podium is all yours. Mr. Titian Wimperson, are you alright? Bailiff, get him to the first aid station on the double. Well, this was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Politician Wimperson can be considered a suspect in Dr. Buff's murder. Apollo, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending the truth. I don't know what I would have done without you. Don't mention it. You were amazing today, Apollo. Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
Yeah, we got this. A dragon never yields. Every lawyer should take that to heart. As it seems both sides have no further objections, would Dirk Sadmati please take the stand? This court awards the orb to the Defiant Dragons per the stated transfer agreement. Should the Kingdom of Kurain claim ownership? The matter may have to be deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I pray, that I'm not the judge presiding over that one. Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more momentous things to stir in the air. The revolution? Dirk's really serious about this. This courtroom is adjourned. Sorry. Okay, I thought I had a sneeze, but it passed. Ah, I hate it when that happens. Okay. Nice work, son. We finally broken through the last obstacle on the road to revolution. Revolution? It just doesn't seem real. Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix. All I can say is, that's my boy. Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd have won if he had been able to fight me head-on. I see it more like you saved Mr. Wright. Saved him? Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore, and it was all thanks to you. I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated. Mr. Dirk? Now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you going to have a spirit medium try to channel her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder. Yeah, just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of the history books. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. What? Why? A face isn't enough. You also need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel. Oh, right. Pearl mentioned something like that. And the founder's true name is only known to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, the only living person who knows the current queen is the current queen of Kurain, Garan. Oh, so without her help, we won't be seeing the founder anytime soon? That's no fun. Well, where's Phoenix? So Dirk, what will you do now? First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands. Since we now know it was a politician that asked the doctor to study it. Isn't he the one who stole it? No, a political nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal family. Alright, you said something to that effect back in the cave. Whoever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light the light of day. Well, I'm sure Mr. Wright has plenty of information, courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this. Private Justice. That was fine work you did in trial today. You did your sergeant proud. Back at you, Sarge. It took real courage to leave your room like that. It's all thanks to you and Corpswoman Sykes. With my siege defense over, I can finally sally forth. But the battle's only just begun. One for me, and me alone to fight. To lose your mother, and then your father. What a terrible thing to endure. Yeah, being wheelchair-bound doesn't help. Private Justice? I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to coddle me. Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow. Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man, and one giant leap for me. Hold my drone for me, would you, Private Justice? Yes, sir. What is she up to? Pretty tall. She's standing? What's this? Sarge? You mean your legs? They're... The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago. But if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it. Makes sense, but I kept pretending I couldn't walk. But I know Papa's watching over me now, and I'd hate to disappoint him. So, from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet. What a brave kid, trying to move forward like this. But it must be so hard soon after her father's death. Don't you ever stop. You just keep walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. But I'll have faith you'll find your way to muster the strength to push through them. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, hey, Daddy's back. Phoenix. Oh, we're going back to being sad again. Mr. Wright! What's that look on his face for? Oh, Apollo. Is everything alright with Miss Faye? She's safe, for now. Well then, we'd better go save her quick. Where is she anyway? I'm afraid I have some bad news. Huh? Maya's not here in the States. She's still in Kurain, and she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing. The mastermind? That's right. Politician Wimperson was nothing more than a pawn. Maya's true abductor is in the kingdom of Kurain. What? I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on over there? But as shocking as that news was, it was only the beginning. The beginning of something big. Big enough to shake Kurain to its very core. The revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us. Wait. Oh, that's it? Wait, it's... Hang on. Oh, this is just Investigation Day 2, is it? I think I'm going to start playing as... Phoenix now? No? Oh, I'm still Apollo. Holy shit. What do you mean Miss Faye is still being held hostage? And who's this mastermind? Politician Wimperson was nothing more than a puppet. His benefactor was the one pulling the strings. But I have no idea who they are. So all we know is it's the person he was trying to give the orb to? Right. He was just following orders. Whoever it is, it seems they really want to get their hands on the orb. So then Miss Faye's abduction is the work of this so-called benefactor, too? Right again. Whoever they are, they're in Kurai, along with Maya. I wonder who they could be. Maya's always being fucking accused of murder or kidnapped or held hostage or something. Really should put her on a leash or something. Right, this Maya, the spirit medium you've been talking about. She wouldn't happen to be that bun-haired young lady you defended back in Kurain. That's her. Why do you ask? I see. I think I know what's going on here. I've got good news for you, right? Maya's somewhere safe. That much I'm sure of. I'm afraid you've lost me. So that's who the little snot's patron is. It's all starting to make sense. That fool has no idea I'm here in the States with you all. Dirk, you mind filling us in? No caller ID. I wonder who's calling. Hello? Mr. Phoenix Wright, yes? Let me start by thanking you for taking such good care of my subordinate. Who is this? I believe you know me as Mr. Titian's benefactor. Sounds like they're using a voice changer or something to disguise themselves. Where's Maya? Is she safe? I had my ears on today's proceedings. What a shock it was to hear that the key to solving the orb's riddle is a spirit medium. I admit, I did not see that coming. Wait, did they plant a listening device in here somehow? Nevertheless, don't think for a minute that it will guarantee Maya Faye's safety. She is not the only medium within my reach, you see. You harm a hair on Maya's head and you'll have to answer to me. Right? Give it here a sec. Wait. Hey there. How's it going, stranger? Who is this? Why, it's your friendly neighborhood dragon. I just happen to be in the US on a little trip. Minister of Justice. Inga Karkul Kirk. Inga Karkul Kurain? Inga? What? Maya's kidnapper? Is Kurain's Minister of Justice? Dirk, is that you dirty turncoat? What in blazes is going on here? Oh, you know, just popped over to the States for a little R&R. But enough about me, Inga. That was a poor excuse for a bluff you pulled just now. We both know your threats are as empty as your head. You can't lay a hand on Maya Faye, and I do mean that literally. What is he talking about? You can kiss your chances of getting the orb goodbye. Maya Faye ain't my only, how shall I say, insurance, you know, Dirk. What? I've got someone dear to you right in the palm of my hand, see? Now that one, well, you can imagine what kinds of things I could do, right? What? What? Glad you're seeing things my way. Meet me at Amara's tomb tomorrow, 3 p.m. sharp. And you better come alone, got it? If all goes well, the orb is all you'll need to get Maya Faye back. Dirk? What's going on? You heard him. I have to get back to Kurain at once. What? Why? No time to explain. But are you even going to make it? What if there are no seats left in the next flight? Plus, you're a wanted man. They're not going to just let you get on a plane. I brought my own plane. Let me worry about that, Mr. Justice. Oh, shit! It's him. It's the man himself. Alright. Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth? What are you doing here? Taking care of the hostage situation. Oh, now that you mention it. Pearl did say that she saw you around in Kurain Village. I was like, where the fuck is Edgeworth? I had him looking into a few things while I was on my way back from Kurain. Including my situation, of course. I was astonished to hear she was still in Kurain earlier. And it explained why I found no connection between her and Mr. Atishan. Sorry to interrupt, but going back to the plane situation. I've taken the liberty of charting one for us. It's ready to take off at any time. And I will do what's necessary to hide the fact that Dirk Sadmati is on board. Wow. Must be nice to be Chief Prosecutor. Can I play as Edgeworth? Can I be Edgeworth, please? Right. We have no time to lose. We must head for Kurain at once. Right. I'm going too. After all, you're bound to need my help. No fair, I want to go too. This isn't a vacation, Trucy. Besides, I'll need you to hold down the fort. But Daddy... I guess I should also only bring what's necessary. Sorry, Trucy, but would you mind holding onto this stuff for me? Fine, but you better bring me back something besides just more evidence. Excellent. Now let us make haste. To Kurain! And that's how our sudden trip to the kingdom of Kurain began. I never imagined I'd return to the country of my youth under such circumstances, though. Temple. That was a long flight. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Talk about cutting it close. The Kingdom of Kurain. This is no time to reminisce, but I gotta say, this place sure brings back memories. Hurry up, Apollo! Right behind you. Mara's tomb is located in the courtyard of Garon Palace. We should have just enough time to get there. Then let's sprint there. Think you can keep up, Apollo? Sure, no sweat. I'll contact the royal family and the local police and inform them of our arrival. Thanks, Edgeworth. Apollo, don't go showing me stuff for no reason. We have to find Miss Faye before it's too late. So wait, does Apollo get to do the last bit? Is it all Papalo? Huff, puff, huff, puff. I wasn't made for all the running and climbing and near drowning I've done this week. It's 2:45, only 15 minutes left. Oops. See that cylindrical building rising in the distance? That's Amara's tomb. Amara? Wasn't that the previous queen? The one who was assassinated? Yes. And I'm the one they pinned it on. It will take a few minutes to get to the tomb from here. So you have returned, Barbed Head. Ah. Oh. I've seen her before on the news. If I remember correctly, this is the Crown Prince Rafa. Rafa Padma Kurain. Darth Vader shouldn't ever say the word Padme. What are you people doing here? This is the royal residence. Commoners are not allowed entry without permission. A prosecutor from the States. I should have already called you and requested permission for us to enter. As to why we're here, Your Benevolence, have you seen Minister Inga? If you seek my father, I just saw him heading towards Amara's tomb. Was he with anyone? You know, like some shady-looking underlings or something? No, he was alone. Why do you ask? Looks like she has no idea about Miss Faye's abduction. You hear that? I think we have company. Bow down before her glory. Her Eminence Queen Garon's Grand Priestess of Kurain approaches. Huh? Garon? It's... Queen Garon. Guards? Surround Amara's tomb at once. Yes, Your Eminence. What's she doing? Is she going to help us? Excuse me, Your Eminence. So, our barbed-head lawyer returns. May we presume you are here for Maya Fey, the spirit medium who has been abducted? Yes, you may. Allow us to apologize for the criminal actions of our husband. Allow us to apologize for the criminal actions of our husband. Oh, no need to apologize for him. Honestly, Inga, abducting a guest in our country? How could you? Father abducted someone? Oh, it's all a pluck and ploy. You're in on it. You know about this shit. Your Eminence, what about those soldiers over there? They are the Garon Royal Guard. Soldiers who serve the crown and no other. Royal Guard? Royal Guard. They are an elite force selected from only the most loyal and outstanding of our subjects. And why have you ordered them to surround the tomb? The police will not come if it is my husband who is committing the crime. We shall have to storm the tomb and take Minister Inga into custody ourselves. What? You mean... Garon, no! His hostage is in there. Dirk? How dare you set foot in the palace? Have you come to turn yourself in? Listen, we need to call a truce for now. Garon Royal Guard, seize this traitor of the crown. As you wish, Your Eminence. Resist and die. Resist and you die. Wait a second. Slow down there, Garon. I'm here to conduct a hostage exchange. But if you take me now, Maya Fey is as good as dead. A hostage exchange? And why would he choose to do such a thing with you? We can talk about that later. Right now, I need to get in there before it's too late. If I can't resolve this in 20 minutes, you can storm the place. Or palace. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Dirk, wait! Guards, allow the insurgent Dirk Sadmati to pass. Barbed Head, you have some explaining to do. Right. Well, while we're waiting here... Apollo, why don't you explain the situation? What? Me? Leave nothing out, Hornhead, or I'll dehorn you where you stand. Hornhead? She doesn't waste any time coming up with nicknames. And what's with the attitude? Her father's the one who abducted Miss Fey. Hornhead, stop wasting time and explain what's going on, now! And make it quick, or I'll yank those horns right off your head. How about we keep our hands to ourselves and I'll explain everything. Guess I better start talking. Do my ears deceive me, or did I hear talk of my father abducting someone? Oh, you heard right. He abducted Maya Fey and... Insolent fool! Pardon my rudeness. A gentle soul such as my father could not possibly have committed such a crime. Gentle? You think he's gentle? I'm afraid it's true, your benevolence. He's holed up in that tomb as we speak. Really? I find this difficult to believe. Why would he do such a thing? I'm just gonna call this guy Carl from now on. Your Benevolence, you saw your father heading toward the tomb. Or tomb? I did. I was over on that veranda, deep in thought, when I saw him hurrying toward the tomb. I'd say it was about 10 minutes ago. Why was he rushing? Maybe he was worried he'd be late? Did you see anyone else heading for the tomb? I saw no one else after he entered. So Minister Inga and Miss Fey are the only ones in there besides Dirk? Who knows, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had a minion or two with him. Dirk, I sure hope he's alright. It's only been 5 minutes. Feels like an eternity. Patience, Apollo, patience. Oh no. Well, Carl is dead. I'm gonna go ahead and just guess that right now. It's been almost 20 minutes. What's taking Dirk so long? The appointed time has come. Our royal guard shall now storm in. Can't you wait just a little longer? No, we cannot. Every second we wait puts the hostage's life in even more danger. Therefore, we see no alternative but to order our guards to storm in. But that'll put Miss Fey's life in danger, too. Guards, storm the tomb and seize Minister Inga, along with the insurgent Dirk Sadmati. Yes, Your Eminence. What? Dirk's under arrest, too? Naturally. The traitorous snake assassinated my predecessor, Queen Amara. Now go, seize them both. We're going in! Follow me, men! For Her Eminence! Hope no one gets hurt. What the? Why are they running back out? What is the meaning of this? Something terrible has happened. Dirk... the minister... he's dead! What's this? Apollo, quick! I'm right behind you. No one enters without our... Come, let us see what has transpired. Yes, Your Eminence. May 18th. Grand Palace. Amara's tomb. Where's Dirk? Apollo, over there! Over there! Yeah, I figured it'd be something like that. Dirk! Dirk! What have you done? Apollo? Look. So it is Minister Inga who has fallen. Guards, seize this murderous man at once. Yes, Your Eminence. Surrender now or perish, rebel scum. No, wait! Dirk, we're taking him away. Ow! Dirk just threw something at me. Wait, this is the... Is he telling me to keep it safe? Nick, is that you? Maya! Are you alright? Is she in the tomb? Oh no. Dirk, he saved me. I feel exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. Minister Inga, the man behind Miss Fey's abduction, had been killed, and Dirk was arrested for his murder. So it was that the abduction of Maya Fey came to a sudden... Okay, I think they're also missing something right here. I think they're missing a with, so it was with that. So it was with that the abduction of Maya Fey came to a sudden and unexpected resolution. I think. Actually, maybe it works the other way. Maybe it was the... I'm not sure. With this, the curtain fell on the minister, but things were far from over. Yeah, I think he plays Apollo. What's up with those footprints? Apollo, what happened? I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell, it seems Dirk has killed Minister Inga. What? You think he did it to save Miss Faye? Most likely. But who knows? I'm really confused right now. My father, this cannot be. I must see this for myself. Your benevolence, we cannot allow you to pass. Fools, stand aside. Forgive us, but we have direct orders from Her Eminence, Queen Garan. Father. Oh, Father. Dirk, you will pay for this. Apollo, let's go regroup somewhere. Yeah. Dirk, it wasn't really you that did it, right? Are you okay, Apollo? Yeah. Edgeworth's speaking with the local police. So let's sit tight until he returns. Okay. I know you must be in a state of shock right now, but I need you to stay with us, Apollo. He's right. I can't go to pieces now. Thanks, Mr. Wright. I'll be fine. Where's Maya? Where's... Yes! Oh. Yes! Oh, he's here. Just put Ed... Just go up to Edgeworth and be like, Edgeworth, just... You take it from here, buddy. We leave everything to you. And he'll be like, oh, yes. You say you leave everything to me. Well, I don't think that'll do much any good anymore. What are you talking about? Well, I've solved this whole case. Oh, wow! Right, Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I have some bad news. It looks like things will only get more complicated from here. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what's happening with Dirk? As I understand it, he is officially charged with the murder of Minister Carl. He has? Yeah. However, I did manage to get us permission to investigate the crime scene. As I expect, we'll be allowed to visit Mr. Sadmati shortly. Thank you. I'm sure glad Prosecutor Edgeworth is here with us. Also, it just so happens that Detective Sky is here in Kurain. Yes! So I've asked her to assist us in our investigation. What? What's she doing here? It seems Prosecutor Sadmati has grown quite fond of her. No! He's been ferrying her around all over the place. A few days here, a few days there. They've almost become a team of sorts. Despite what Nahyuta says, it seems he thinks highly of his skills. What now, Apollo? I think I'll go pay Dirk a visit at the detention center. I want to go check on Maya at the hospital. What about you, Athena? Well, if there's footwork to be done, I'd better stick with Apollo and give him a hand. Very well. Then I will accompany Wright. Okay, we'll go our separate ways for now. Alright. If anything comes up, you have my cell number. Do you know your way around here, Apollo? It's been over 10 years since I left, but I'll try not to get us hopelessly lost. I thought that attorney badges were the same around the world. But I just realized that this type is only used back home. You've had your badge for a while now, and you're just now noticing that? Hey, I'm still getting used to things after all, the time I spent in Europe. But as they say, when in Rome... Wait, what are we even talking about anymore? Your smile is so big and goofy. I like it. And we may have to call it quits on this one right here. Yeah, think so. I don't have another investigation in me right now. Gosh, I was kind of hoping that there wouldn't be one and we just go to a courtroom and I could just get this all done. I wonder who it's going to be. So is it going to be Apollo? Or is Apollo just going to do the investigation and then Phoenix is going to take over as the attorney? I don't know. Well, anyway. Yeah, so that was that. Over. That was that. Well, that's it. Technically, this is still case 5. So that's the first. That's case 1 of case 5 completed, I suppose. So yeah. I guess we'll continue and do the investigation for part 2 whenever I get back. Hopefully we'll finish the whole thing next session too. I was really hoping to do it this session, but that's okay. We'll finish it later then. Alright, so until that time, I will see you later, guys.